Good morning, everybody. It is May 17th, 2022. I will not be long here, but I wanted to make a quick statement about this whole testimony with Amber Heard. And Camille Vasquez has just been brilliant, of course. Um, so there were a couple of comments yesterday, like two out of, I don't know, hundreds that I've come across so far, where people have said, why why the circus atmosphere? Why why are people out to get Amber Heard? Why are people so interested in seeing Amber Heard be revealed to be a liar? Right? So here's the problem. The problem is that we in the public, we've seen so much photograph and video um, matched up with dates and times of these alleged pummelings, beatings by a man who wears these big clunky, rings. Um, we all recognize that what the story that she has told is really not accurate. It couldn't possibly be accurate. Now, she's a bit snarky yesterday and said, that you can use ice to make the swelling go down, and you can use makeup to hide the bruising. Okay, true. I'm gonna be with you, to a limited degree, but ice only makes the swelling go down for about 20 minutes, and then it comes right back up. Which is why, if you check with your doctor or a nurse, they will tell you, no, 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 you don't put the ice on and then the swelling goes down and then it's gone forever. You put it on and then you have to take it off so you don't burn your skin. And then in the time that the skin gets warm, then you put the ice back on and then you have to take it off. And so it's a process of on and off, on and off, on and off. And the reason you want to keep swelling down is because the tissue is damaged, and if the swelling gets big, it hurts more, right? You don't, it's not magical. Like, you don't have, it's not, ice is not kryptonite to swelling. It just constricts the tissue, but then as soon as the tissue warms up, it's swollen again, right? So number one, that is so easily, her comment is so easily debunked. This um this jury is six men, or 6 or 7 men and two or three women. I don't remember which. It's predominantly men. Men know when you get injured what happens with your ice, and most women do, right? But certainly the majority of men have been at some point or another athletic, have hurt themselves, and they're instructed on how to use the ice and how to use heat. So there's a lot of things about Amber that we're all looking at this. We've heard the audio where Johnny Depp is begging for boundaries. He's begging her to leave him alone. He's saying outright, "You hit me and I don't want to be hit. And I don't want to hurl insults at you." Now, this man, if he punched her, she would have evidence. If he hit her or pushed her, there would be evidence, right? I mean, he's a fairly stout guy, okay? And her weight fluctuates greatly. Right now she's at one of her larger sizes, but I put up photographs um where she looks like she's been using cocaine or she's on heroin. You can see the ripples of the bones, on her sternum. I mean, it's she's looks anorexic even. So so I've got some questions about the someone looking at her and saying, excuse me, you have a nosebleed, and her nose does not hurt. Because if you get hit in the nose and it hurts, you're going to look in the mirror. Am I right or wrong? Anybody ever been hit in the nose? It does hurt. It makes your eyes water. It's a terrible feeling. It makes you sneeze. It's a horrible feeling. So if you're at a party and you're just kind of hanging around, even if you got beat the night before, you're hanging around and spontaneously your nose begins to bleed to the point that your security guard says, hey, you may want to go check on your nose. What else makes your nose bleed? Cocaine. She said she was coming out of the bathroom when she saw the security guard. He said, your nose is bleeding. People that use cocaine can make the assertion that, oh yeah, she was totally in the bathroom using cocaine if her nose just randomly starts bleeding and it doesn't hurt. She doesn't notice the feeling of the blood going over her lip. Why? Because it's numb from the cocaine. So for people that use cocaine, it's not unusual to see their nose bleeding, and people are like, okay, this is weird. Why doesn't this person know their nose is bleeding? The fact that her weight got so small, and it did seem like when she first got with Johnny Depp, she was fairly normal size. She was at her most beautiful. After they broke up, like Coachella time, afterwards, her weight plummeted. I mean, she looks terrible. So, and now she's back up, looks like to her regular size. So, all this accusation against him using cocaine and whatnot. And then she turns around, she's accusing him of using cocaine. And that's why he's so violent. That's why he's beating her so badly. But then she turns around and she shows photographs of him sleeping. Okay, well, you don't sleep when you're on cocaine, and you don't beat people when you're sleeping. So there's so much that people are going, this is a fake outcry. And what is it doing for domestic violence survivors who need to be believed? Right? She has set this movement back. All the activists that have worked in this field of domestic abuse and violence, demanding and pleading that victim statements not be belittled. Look at what she's done to that. Look at what she's done to that. So for those people that want to side with Amber for whatever reason, why don't you stop a minute and think about the damage this woman has done to a nation of domestic violence survivors? Look at what she's done to them. She even had the audacity to become the ACLU ambassador representing women and stating, I was battered. I was an abused woman. So now that leads me to this topic about audacity. And yesterday was painful. If you were Amber Heard, or you were her family, or you were her friend, yesterday was shockingly painful. And in my opinion, I think it gives us a really good insight for why Amber Heard has lost her best friend, her best attorneys. People know she's lying. People are watching her go after Johnny Depp, one of the most beloved characters in the world, historically connected to cinema. People are watching her try and to destroy him. And it's that old adage, cut your nose off to spite your face. Well, you saw her cut her nose off yesterday. Now, this absurd, ridiculous, never-ending diatribe on, oh yes, I did. I pledged the entire amount, but you had the $7 million for more than a year in your bank account. Why didn't you pay it? Oh, no, I did. I pledged the entire. Yeah, but why didn't you pay it? No, I did. I pledged the entire. It was a farce. She looked insane, right? And she said, oh, you know, the money donated by Elon Musk. Oh, she's already got her purple liquid. Look there. The money donated by Elon Musk didn't count toward, you know, the full 7 million. Yes, it did. The ACLU lawyer said it did. So they're going to impeach her on that as well. Ben Chu smiled when she said that. Remember what we said so often. Everybody wants to talk about narcissists. Now we're actually looking at the kind of behavior that is typical of a narcissist. And I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. This isn't about a narcissist digging in, right? This isn't about a narcissist getting their point across. This is about a narcissist who is under attack. Her mask has been stripped from her. She has no idea now who she is. You look at her today, all she's done is sit in her chair in the courtroom. She already looks decimated, smaller, frightened. That is why she could not drop it yesterday and change her vocabulary. She had her vocabulary. I don't know what they're doing at sidebar, but man, Elaine is freaking out. And look at Ben Chu. Camille's got her arm. Both women have their arms crossed in this, you know, stance of firm. Wow. Wonder what they're trying. I wonder what's going on here. Oh, did y'all see that? So the real lawyers are laughing. Elaine, it doesn't matter how hard you cry. The law is the law. Just keep your eyes on what's going on at sidebar because they have really got something. Elaine is pulling out rabbits from a hat. Come on, Penny. Penny, don't give in to that. Don't give in to Elaine's hysterics. It's hysteria. Stick to the law, Penny. So Deb's lawyers were smiling. Okay. Well, we don't know what happened, but that was interesting. So you're looking at the behavior of someone who might be diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder. You're looking at the behavior of someone whose mask has been ripped off. She can't go back, right? There's no going back at this point for her. Look at her. Boy, she has definitely, she looks rough. Man, okay. Well, I don't think today is going to turn out very well unless she changes and decides to be contrite. I can't imagine that she would be. Elaine looked quite desperate, Caldonia. I would agree. So I think Amber is I think she was up all night probably reading social media, and she recognizes now how bad yesterday was. And Camille, can I just say this? Camille looks lovely in her all white. So that's why this matters, okay? That's why this matters, and that's why people are celebrating and happy as she is impeached.
First year of your relationship with Mr. Dunn in October of 2011, right?
That's correct.
And you previously testified multiple times under oath that the first year of your relationship with Mr. Depp was the best of times, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You testified that as far as you could tell, Mr. Depp was sober that first year,
That is correct. That's what I used to believe.
and that the first year was, quote, magic.
Yes, I always estimated it was about a year.
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Ms. Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
Okay.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
That doesn't make sense.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna turn this down.
And you told them that Mr. Depp
Yeah.
was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
This
That
is
is
the
correct.
this is the legal
You
bites
told this jury
feed.
that in quote,
I'm
in
going to be
2012,
ending
I was
in
the beginning
about
stages
30
of
minutes,
just
and y'all can go
learning
over
these
to Legal
patterns. I
Bites
was
or go to
learning
Legal
that
Bites right
drinking
now
kind of
because I
correlated
am
with
not
the
going to be here
violence,
today.
end quote.
So I
Is
hope
that
you'll
right?
go over to
That is
Legal
correct.
Bites. Okay.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing.
Oh, bring out the real knife.
You have the knife?
Master
I love it,
Deputy.
Camille.
I bet they do have it.
The commentary
Camille.
you're hearing is for
Oh, they have the
Legal
real
Bites.
knife. Bring it out.
showed the
Bring me the
Bring it out.
knife.
I really,
Put it in her hand while you're at it.
I
That'd be
really
good.
wanna
think
see how
you
big
guys
this
should go to
thing
Legal
is.
Bites to watch this.
Yes.
They are
Look at
that.
fabulous.
Shiny
That's
object.
Look at the
One.
size of that
Show
knife.
That was the
the
knife you
jury.
gave to
Oh
the
my
man who was hitting
God.
you, right, Ms. Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him. That's for
You
certain.
dumbass.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Amber,
Master
he's
Deputy
beating
Can you
you.
please show the knife to the jury?
Yes, present it to the jury. Show them really
and
close.
Show and tell. Show and
Well
Amber,
played.
tell.
he's beating.
Oh man, I wish I
this
could
is
see
the
the reactions. I am
monster,
so
remember?
cheesed right now.
The
You
monster
gotta get Larry. You gotta get Larry
beating
on that.
you, and you give him a
This is the
knife
knife you
as
gave
a
to the man who would
gift.
get drunk and violent with you, right?
Wow,
This is the same knife that I
Oh,
gave him as a present in
my
2012. Yes.
God! This I can't
Now, Ms. Heard, I'm
believe
going to need to
this.
talk to you about what happened in Australia.
Remember
in
that,
March
Matt.
2015.
She doesn't know who she is
You
if
testified
she's
that
not
at some
being
point
Amber.
during the incident you described,
You rip the
witnessed
mask
Mr. Depp
away. She
bashing the
doesn't
phone
know
against
how
the
to.
wall,
She
right?
doesn't know how to
That is
cope.
correct.
She's
You
not going to
testified
get.
that the phone was breaking into
She's
pieces.
not
I was watching it
going
disappear.
to back
Mr. Depp
down.
smashed
Mark
it,
my
I think your
words.
word was
Okay, I got to get
smithereens.
ready to go to work.
Yes, that is correct.
I'll leave this
And according to
plan,
your
but please
testimony,
go over to
this was a
Legal Bites
wall-mounted
to
phone
watch
in the
this.
bar area.
They're fabulous.
That is correct.
Really fabulous. See you later. Bye.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1820.
I thought they'd start maybe a little
Miss-
slower.
I believe this has
Wing it.
already been admitted into evidence.
No,
If we
it
could have it
No,
published.
Bouncing
push the
through the
pace from
timeline,
the
too.
from the time the bell rings. That's what I like.
Oh, she's hitting hard.
Yep.
And
I'm
she stopped-
awake.
She was going in order yesterday.
I'm
She
real
stopped doing
awake.
that.
Thank you. You saw this photo during your direct examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
But it's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
It's convenient. The pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture
Objection.
either, right?
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
Whoever
Sure.
took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace, correct?
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
He did. Your counsel elicited it.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture. Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821, which is also admitted into evidence? You also saw this picture during your direct examination, correct?
That is correct.
And so this is the bar area to the right of the wall-mounted phone you just described.
If you were facing in that direction, if you're facing this direction, it would be behind you.
This phone on the counter isn't the phone that got smashed to smithereens, is it?
No, they brought that out during my testimony in the UK as well. And I said this in the UK trial as well, that is not the phone, obviously, because that one's not smashed and it's not wall mounted.
Yeah, so there are two phones in the bar area.
There was a wall mounted phone. I don't know if it was decorative or what, but it was what, like it looked antique, large and antique.
Now there are two
And
phones.
and what the large and antique one that's not depicted in any photograph, including ones you took, is the one that Mr. Depp damaged, correct?
That is correct. I only took pictures of the mirrors.
So there's no picture of that damaged phone.
I didn't take a picture of it, no.
So back to the phone smashing. You watched Mr. Depp smash the phone, right?
That's correct. I watched it.
And you testified that you were, quote, watching the phone every single time he pulled his hand back, end quote.
That's correct.
And according to you, this is when Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger, right?
It is my best guess. I didn't notice his finger come off, obviously. I was watching him smash the phone and watching the pieces break while he was doing it.
Well, it's not your best guess, Ms. Heard.
That is my best guess, yes.
Okay, let's go back to my questions. You submitted a declaration under the penalty of perjury in this case. Do you remember that?
That is correct.
Okay, let's look at that declaration.
Oh, man. This is really fiery.
Yes.
I assume she didn't say best guess in the declaration.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Look at the thickness of that.
Age threw her attorneys under the bus yesterday. How will that affect the relationship,
we
if
could
at all?
Direct your
Says Mary
attention,
Finley.
Ms. Heard, to the
Or Finley.
page
I don't know.
14 of
I
the
think they might be a
declaration.
little salty about it. I would be a little bit.
I don't think they're going to be hanging out for drinks after this.
No, I don't think so. Don't think so.
This is
You
not
still
gonna-
have to represent her adequately and zealously, though. So it doesn't affect that.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
And your signature appears right under the statement, quote, I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of Virginia, that the foregoing is true and correct.
That is correct.
Damn.
And this is dated April 10th, 2019.
Correct.
Now let's look at paragraph 16, which is on page 5.
Sorry, none of this is going to be allowed because it's a Commonwealth. Very sorry.
Specifically line 10. Quote, you write, testify under oath. While he was smashing the phone, Johnny severely injured his finger, cutting off the top of it, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the phone, he held you down on the countertop by the neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not
Love
quite
your
sure
neck.
of the exact sequence of things, but yes, both of those things happened.
We'll get to
We're
the
not quite
sequence.
clear either.
And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
On the countertop, he assaulted me.
So Mr. Depp was able to get you on the counter, right?
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he grabbed a bottle, according to you, while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking?
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No, those two things didn't happen at the exact same time, no.
So he's holding the bottle, is that your testimony?
He
While
was
holding
my-
you down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
She literally just
Your
asked
testimony
it.
is, Ms. Heard,
I'm sorry. I'm getting
that
getting
either-
frustrated.
he has the bottle
It's fine.
before or after he's holding
Okay.
you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle?
And about the bottle, Amber?
that he
At
assaulted
what
with
point?
While holding you
He's
down.
holding you down by the neck.
That's for you
When
to
he was
answer, Amber.
assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
She just asked you that
Was
like
it
5
in his
times. You're like,
hand
I don't know what you're talking
Before or
about.
That's not
after
the
he holds you down by your
Doop,
neck?
doop, doop.
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
She thinks she's doing well. The jury
So
was
we had the
not
bottle
Was he on the
first.
counter?
last
Does
night.
he have the bottle in his hand? Yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he
With the
penetrates you with this
neck.
bottle,
So
but you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence
Nice
of
on the
those
jury.
events.
We'll get to the sequence. and while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the sequence. This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over 3
Oh,
4
awesome.
days.
Ms. Heard,
I
get
think
into the
I'm
multi-days.
happy I
We're not
don't
ta-
remember
Ms.
the
Heard,
exact
that's not my
sequence.
question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault allegedly that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
Yes,
Okay?
correct.
Let's talk about the sequence.
Nice. Good job.
So you testified. Actually, yeah, I know. Just realized that.
I think Elaine just asked for a sidebar.
Transcript.
Could be. Is Camilla allowed to ask Amber if she spoke to her lawyers or the break says disarentropy? Sorry, I totally butchered the
I
name.
wouldn't ask that
She-
question even if
She
I
is,
could.
but I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
There's DUI guy. Yeah. DUI
Doesn't
guy.
know the
No,
answer.
look at the
Don't know
jury.
the
Yeah, that's
answer.
true.
Don't ask the question.
Exactly so.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yep.
so.
Copy of day 16 in front of you.
She's killing it.
Day 16? Yes.
So
of
she's
court
going to read her
deposition.
testimony from
No, of
yesterday.
the court transcript from this trial.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know.
Next to
Yeah.
David. Yep.
Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on
No.
page, I'm getting there, 4506.
They're getting immediate transcripts. This must cost a fortune.
Yeah, but worth every penny.
If
Yeah.
I had the money on every file to do it, I'd be doing it on every file. You just
Yeah.
grab the money. I'm gonna call David during lunch.
All right. Okay. And the reason that we need to go through this, Ms. Heard, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me? Yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3.
That was
I
on
sit
that
here
Post-it
now.
note.
Apologize. You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is correct.
Then, directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519, at line 3,
She's got all her
you
conferences
testified that
down.
while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, "I fucking hate you," end quote, right?
Yes, he was screaming that among other things.
Further down on page 4519, same page,
Why add
lines 12
love
through
it.
19, you talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, "At some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing," end quote, right?
I just remember the sound. Yes.
But you remember, and you testified to this jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
he had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Heard, that you testified to this jury that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the way, that's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
What?
Ooh.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Talking.
Okay.
I know, it
Then
sounds
on
like a
page
sequence to me.
4521,
Larry, eyes on
starting
jury.
at line 3.
Yeah.
You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Okay.
Some objection, asking to approach.
Yeah, I need to interrupt this because it's gonna just kill this.
Because this is killing my client. Shifty
Did you
Giza
like
says,
how Camille said, "I fucking hate you" to
Yes.
Amber?
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
Yeah.
She
Well, I like
sounds
that.
like
I
she
think that
actually
that
does.
post-it note that came
Say it
across.
with
was-
feeling.
Yeah.
I think the post-it note that came across was you're sounding a little like you're attacking her, and this is serious stuff. Do an intervening question to talk about how we understand that the allegations are serious. Because she gets
Yeah.
that post-it note right before she asks that.
Fair point. Fair point. Shifty Giza says, do you think yesterday's takedown of AH will impact her cis decision whether to testify or not, or anyone else for that matter? What do you guys think?
Well, Whitney's the only live witness she has left, isn't she?
I guess so.
So everybody else
she's
is just by
eligible.
deposition.
Yeah, Whitney.
So they're all locked in,
Yeah.
which is
yeah, I guess-
hilarious.
I
So
guess
yes,
so.
I think use the
It's not-
depositions because it's as good as it's gonna get.
I
I
also
guess so.
That's his decision if she's subpoenaed. I mean, like it's not.
I would run if I was her.
Yeah. Sage
I
also
also-
says,
Her testimony is going to be a bunch of stuff that Amber told her.
Yeah.
The thing that was just addressed as well about that question of you understand that this is serious. That's something you do in litigation a lot because it amps up the consequences of lying.
Yes.
You know, it's not just you're lying.
Directing your attention was heard to page 4521, starting at line 3.
Won the objection.
You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
That is correct.
And then feeling pressure on your pubic bone like Mr. Depp was punching you. Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further down on page 4521 and on to 4522, you testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Mr. Hurd, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 1816. Which has already been admitted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
I did.
And you testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning, right?
That's correct.
And this was the morning after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you, right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape. Felt like that shape.
She
But you
said she
testified in this courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
Not in the course of the trial. I had seen the photograph.
bring the impeaching statement.
Not in the course
You
of
claim
the
you had serious
trial.
injuries after this alleged incident, right, Ms. Hurd?
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries. Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Sometimes, I mean, often. And certainly in the later part of our relationship, that was more normal than not. But if he's filming or something like that, of course, he's not going to have his own jewelry on.
Your testimony in this trial was, quote, "I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings," correct?
You need to put your microphone on, Miss. Thank you.
Objection, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Improper impeachment. If she's going to ask her question, then she has to show where that was and then.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you.
TN Pinkerton, thank you very much for the generous super
Your
chat. super
testimony
sticker.
yesterday was, quote, "I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings," right, Ms.
That's-
Hurd?
That's what I testified to, yes.
Okay. And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Hurd. Your words are, "I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger."
That is what I testified to.
And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
And you testified that your forearms were cut
My forearms and my feet.
and your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Hurd?
I didn't seek treatment.
And the day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning. So technically that last day.
Oh, are we getting to the Australia?
Dr.
audio?
David Kipper, Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But he
Yes.
was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you. He was your physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
All right, let's please pull up. Do you remember giving testimony in this case in a deposition, Ms. Heard?
Yes, I do. I've given a couple.
I like the strategy of
Please,
getting her to fight it. That's
Pull up the deposition transcript.
I don't know
day
why
2,
she fights so much on this little stuff because they're just going to bring up that she said that Dr. Kipper was also her doctor,
at
right?
589, lines 6 through 8.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're going to play Ms. Heard's deposition for the jury, lines day 2, page 540, lines 6 through 9. We have permission to publish it.
You gotta give me a minute.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, day 2, page 589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, could you just give us a minute to get
Of
there?
course.
589.
I'm sorry, what were the lines?
Page 589, lines 6 through 8.
Did you say 540 or 589?
589,